Hello, everyone. This month's mental health topic draws from last week's sermon, Divine Reset, When Life Hurts. Now, I think we all know that we are living in a world that is hurting. And every day we see that pain around us from, our loved ones, our neighbors, just even in the media, people are hurting. And ways that we hurt can either be the things that we say to each other, how we treat each other, but it could also very much be how we treat ourselves. So hurt can be towards others, it can also be self directed. The things that we say to ourselves on a daily basis can be uplifting, but they can also be really critical and really tear us down. Things that aren't always loving, things that aren't always motivating, things that don't always show us compassion towards ourselves. As Pastor mentioned last week, unaddressed pain and hurt will affect our lives negatively, and they can be long lasting. They can have long lasting impacts on our lives. And these long lasting and negative impacts, they can actually cause us to um, settle for less than God's best for us. And they can lead us to experience these deep, ingrained hurt and pain that really cause us to see our world, see ourselves, and see others completely different. And so sometimes I wonder the way that we see things and the things that we do and the things that we say, is that the hurt, right? Is that the hurt that is speaking, or is that the person's character? And so this is just to show you that when it comes to hurt that's unaddressed, it can be detrimental to how we see ourselves and how we see our life and how we live our life. And so these unaddressed um, pain or these unaddressed hurt that most of us are walking through our day with daily, at a certain point, we have to decide what are we going to do about those pain and those hurt that we're feeling. If we don't admit to ourselves that the way we see ourselves are not always in line with how God sees us, then over time we start building up what Pastor referred to as dirt. And these dirt and these things, they become very punishing. And over time, if we don't deal with these dirt, then dirt will turn into muck and mud and clay. And as we all know, it's easier to wash off dirt than it is to wash off muck and clay and really those thick, um, dirt that we often see around, like stuck on our car or stuck on our shoes or just in our neighborhood. It gets harder and harder to wash them off. And so I think, it's to our detriment if we choose not to look at these hurt, because I think after a while, all this secrecy, all this dirt that we carry around, we actually start to see ourselves. We actually start to see each other and our world through, I truly believe this, through Satan's eyes instead of God's eyes. And imagine if we go through our daily lives seeing ourselves through Satan's eyes. That's a scary thought, right? I don't think that will affect our self-esteem in at all in a very good way. So when it comes to dirt or hurt that affects someone's self-esteem, it could be, do you find yourself doing or saying things to punish yourself when you mess up? Do you repeatedly say or believe that you're not good enough, you're a failure, you have no business being a mom or a dad to anyone, no one loves you or will ever love you again? Do you find yourself, saying things that you're ugly, you're fat, you're stupid, you're not smart enough, you're going to fail? Do you often find that the things that you say to yourself really they don't uplift you, they don't motivate you, they don't help you to thrive. In fact, they may help you keep feeling stuck in loneliness and disbelief in who you are and who God created you to be. These beliefs about yourself, they did not happen overnight. And sometimes they are so subtle that you don't even recognize that they're happening. They build up over time to the point where they become so imprinted in your mind. And these statements, they become so imprinted. And these are statements that others made towards you as you were growing up. It could have been a mom or relative. It could be a partner. It could be have been a friend, a sibling, a coworker, a boss. These statements, if you hear them often enough, then you start believing them. You start doubting the things that God actually say about you, the things that He write in your story when you were born, when you were created, right? And so it's almost as if someone took a tattoo gun and tattooed them in your mind. And over time, it builds up to a point where they become so hidden because they can sometimes feel shameful. Your mind will actually start making you believe that other people also believe those things that you believe about yourself, right? And so it becomes so ingrained in you. And so the one thing that I'm gonna challenge you to do, a little exercise that I find helpful is, and you can pause the video if you want to or do this another day, is I want you to find a mirror, either in your makeup compact, and a mirror in your bathroom, in your room, and I want you to close your eyes, quiet your brain, take a few breaths if you have to, and I want you to take 30 seconds, a minute, however long it takes for you to quiet your brain. And then I want you to stand in front of that mirror and I want you to open your eyes. And what I want you to do is I want you to, first of all, identify what was the first thing that came to your mind about yourself when you open your eyes without overthinking it. Was it a positive thought? Was it an uplifting thought to say you're going to have a great day? You are beautiful. You are a great mom. You're a great dad. Or was it a thought that says, you look tired? Oh, great. Here comes another day. It's going to be another negative day. Oh, great. I have to take care of those kids. What is that thought that came to you? And what was the first feeling that connected with those thoughts? Was it a feeling of joy? Was it a feeling of shame, guilt, anxiety, worry left over from the day before, right? Did you go to bed with all of those negative things about yourself and wake up just to continue today? What about people who don't even look in the mirror on a daily basis? And this is not about self-image, right? This is about being afraid of what it is that you will see when you look in that mirror. Because there are people I've met, and even myself, some days I just walk by that mirror. I don't want to look in the mirror because I don't want to see what I want to see because I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. When was the last time that you actually passed the mirror and stood and look at yourself in that mirror and admire yourself in that mirror? Or look in that mirror and face the pain and the hurt that you see looking back at yourself? So I'm going to challenge you to do that exercise. It may come from very affirming things that you think very positively of yourself, or it may actually bring forward things, those pain, that dirt and that muck that you really don't want to face. And so in that moment, I think a decision to make is, are you ready? Right? Are you ready to start weeping, as Pastor said? And weeping is not just about crying, as he talked about, right? It's about crying and expressing the emotion of all those pain and hurt that is really making your self-esteem so low and causing you to judge yourself based on your perception of yourself, other people's negative perception of you, Satan's perception of you versus God's perception of yourself. So, are you ready to fix things? Are you ready to deal with those hurt and pain and shame and guilt and cynicism and anger towards others, anger towards yourself, hatred towards others that is keeping you from truly weeping with God, weeping before God and facing those things? Are you truly ready to face those hurt and pain and grieve them? That's the question that I want you to ask yourself. Are you ready to stop ignoring those hurt and pain that has been affecting your self esteem? Are you ready to see yourself through God's eyes? Or are you choosing to continue to see yourself through negativity and Satan's eyes? The beliefs that he has for you, the belief that he has for you. And as Pastor said, in when he talked about John 11:35, Jesus wept. He wept. And if Jesus can weep and talk about the hurt and pain and all those emotions, then so can we. So I encourage you to face your hurt, those hurt that are affecting your self-esteem. Take a stand when you look in that mirror. What is the first thing that you see that you are ready to put in the past so that it doesn't continue to shape who you are, shape your future, shape your kids' future, shape your family members' future? Are you ready to face those things? So that's my challenge to you, to ask yourself, are you ready to face those things? And hopefully, if you say yes, then you know that you can reach out to us at the church. We'd be more than happy to walk this out with you. So you can call the church, you know the number. And as always, I am going to wish you all wonderful mental health experiences. And I truly believe that that is possible if you choose to look at your hurt and face your hurt, even if it's one step at a time. Until next time, take care.